Frank Sinatra. Fly me to the moon. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Yeah. My favorite song. In other words, hey, please be true. Oh, that's not that part. Hold on. He does it again. He does it again. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Dip, dip, dip. Hey, you gotta, when you sing that, you gotta use the face. I'm sorry, I had to find the mic, but you gotta have the face when you sing that. That is Frank, my boy. Frank was a G. All my homeboys that's not dark melanated, they really pass and they dark to me. You got dark hair and all that, you melanated. All my boys that ain't whatever black or whatever, I look at them like they gotta be like Frank. Frank was a G. You know that all Frank's musicians were black, right? So a lot of, in the racist America, in the time where they didn't let blacks in the clubs and all that, Frank wouldn't perform if his music, he said, if I can't perform, if my musicians can't get in, I'm not singing. Frank was a G. That's why I love Frank. Rest in power, Frank. For Frank Sinatra, that's my dog right there. That's my nigga. Let's get it. I got partners like that all around the world, India, Turkey. They be like, if Jamar can't get it, if he can't get funded, we not gonna promote it. Please be true. In other words, hey, y'all have a good one.